never saw, even if they copy-pasted the US, they copy-pasted very poorly.
Alright guys, welcome to Live Saga TV, community for us. Yesterday we did not have any video, I'm sorry for that, but it is sometimes based on the activities that are overwhelming. So I had to just not do a video there. And yet there is a lot cooking in the house. Gloria Oroba coming to unfold a lot of stuff about people here and there. Is she telling the truth? It's only her and her God who knows. For us, we just flow with the vibe, what she says, and we also analyze the past, you know. It was a very nice moment for Ogobina actually to bring her in. You know, people get to attack Ogobina sometimes, telling him he's going political and all that, but life is life. Currently, you have to be very scheming in terms of if you're in the media, because the competition is just high, though. According to him, the other day was saying that the space is wide and it can accommodate everybody. However, you need to be so critical and creative in your thought and your plans so that you can fit in this competition. So guys, the other day we saw Gobina show live talking about good things never last, and Gloria was justifying that she was the best person, very vocal. However, she could not last. There is something I did not understand in her communication when she was telling Obina that most of the women have been used, but she was again rejecting that the president could not have used all these women. And it's not just the president who is actually whom she was talking about. She was talking about the rest of the men in the in the parliament, and referring to some of them, especially Itumbi, as a very mean soul. Yeah, that Itumbi wants to play the show on the table. He's very mean. He does not want other people to come by. And so when she was collected, or rather pointed out by the president to join the his team, they felt very annoyed that how come somebody has been pinpointed all the way from Kisii after coming from abroad to just join the team like that when they have struggled a lot. And because now it's a man for man survival, they had to pull her out. I don't know how true these stories were, but we can play some clip on that before we go to other matters of more weight. I know that I was supposed to talk about this yesterday or the other day, but again, I did not have time to cover this on Live Saga TV. Yesterday, I was so busy traveling and dealing with other matters. Today again, Sashita, please subscribe to the channel. I thank you for the like. There are 2 likes I've got there, and I really appreciate, you know, because since I've skipped maybe 1 day without doing a video, and as I've told you, it's as a result of being busy yesterday with the presentation, traveling here and there, and I could not do a video here, and I could not force it, because sometimes when you force it, you will not give the content that is expected. All right, so thank you so much for your presence, and thank you for your likes and your love and a lot of support for me. We are growing slowly by slowly, but I know we'll get there. So when you get here, if you have not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, like the video, share, and we'll be growing slowly by slowly. I know the goal of 1,000 subscribers is not very far. If we just decide, we share with our friends of the friends about the videos I take here, we will be able to hit the goal before we know it. We don't really want a situation where we take 6 months before we hit that. Already this channel started long ago, only that I was not posting daily. And now that I've decided to commit to daily, please support me. Let us grow so that we don't have a political channel taking a lot of time like the social platforms where everybody's there competing here and there. So I really appreciate the people, David Wafula and Lema Queenie are part of the inspiration on the content I make. I also appreciate Bold, Newsline, and such channels. I also watch Ogobina a lot, especially on the guests that he invites. Now, referring to Ariungi, there are so many things that Ariungi has had to tell us, and they have come to happen. But before I go to that, let me play some clip on Oroba, because I've done content on her already. This is not the first time, but let me play something on her. And I hope your opinion will matter here. I agree to disagree with you, but without emotions, without emotion attachment, guys. So welcome, and let's watch this first before we proceed.
Do you people ever wonder where Raymond Omolo came from? Like, he ain't a politician. Where was he before the scene? Where did he come from? Has anyone ever asked where? I mean, like, we know where Murkomen came. He was in Senate. He did what? We know where did Raymond come from? Right? Let me tell you where Raymond came from. Raymond, first, here's my phone so that you can confirm. Search on my contacts, Raymond, how he saved. Because this is actually a fun fact. Search Raymond.
Kuna Raymond Bet, kuna Raymond Kisumu, kuna Raymond Standard Digital.
Guess which Raymond is Raymond P.S. Omolo?
Standard Digital. Kisumu.
Raymond Kisumu. Let me tell you about Raymond Kisumu. I was the chief agent for Nyanza. So that means all of Luo Nyanza and Kisii. Homa Bay Kisumu, all of Luo Nyanza and Kisii. No one wanted to be a chief agent because it was stronghold their baba. So watu walikuwa nasema tunaenda huko hata wezi tembea na t-shirt ya UD utachomwa. Me, I was like, can I be there? Me nataka, because as I took.
All right, so Gloria Orobo was actually justifying kind of duties he has done and how people betrayed her later. She was justifying the people she worked for and they never appreciated. She was also clearing airs about whether she ever had an affair with the president or not. She was telling us about why she was thrown out of parliament and why she had issues with people in parliament. Because remember when I actually had a lot of people talking about Oruoba, the moment she came into, people were like, yeah, finally it has happened.
Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done in a list view. Next, I set a priority and a due date to keep things on track. I create custom statuses to organize my progress exactly how I want. I like to add the action items field so AI can show me the next steps. I add my teammates as watchers so they're in the loop. ClickUp makes work easy, from personal projects to running a multi-billion-dollar company. Click the link below to create your workspace for free.
It seems the computer is also getting exhausted of power. Let me just check on what to do.
I was recruited from the TV.
Okay, so you're on telly.
So this part of the story, I'm being.
All right. Let me connect the charger before I can proceed, because if the computer goes off, I'll not be able to proceed with what I have to do as a point of reference. So guys, bear with me as I take a moment in that. Meanwhile, Oroba was justifying that she got to the Senate because she was picked from, people say she was picked from the TV, but the reality, according to her, she was actually there to talk about the scandal in the vice president's office then. After that, and she was talking about these people lacking a license and all that. That is when she got room to be picked, because she was really speaking like she's supporting the government. Now she came about saying that there are people who speak sweetly, but yet later it is all fun. I was surprised at that, because she was testifying that the Kutenga is not obviously Kutenda. That's what her testimony was, according to me. All right. Is it really charging that one? Because the rest, the two don't work. All right, let me charge this as I proceed. Now, the reality is that from her stories, if she's coming out to say after she was thrown away, though she's not starting now, we realize that she started, and that is how she was thrown out of the parliament, and later on she came out speaking, and recently she was actually kicking the police as they were carrying her, removing her from office, right? So let's hear what she will tell us about how she came to be part of the Senate. And I don't know, you can drop your comments if you have a different view about what she's saying and what you think is the truth before we move on to the next story. Because today we have about 7 stories in one, okay, to cover in 1 hour. Our 10 minutes are complete. We still have 50 minutes to cover our thing. Let's go for it.
Told by people, because it's not my, so people were, so me, I remember being picked up from Tamarind. There's that hotel on Langata.
Okay.
I remember a gentleman calling me. He was called Karori Oliver.
Okay.
And now he's a legal advisor or something. He sits in State House. And I remember him calling me and telling me, akajiintroduce, alafu akaniuliza uko wapi, nikamwambia tu niko area. Hizo siku nilikuwa naamka navaa nguo ni kama ninaenda kumit president every day. Hata kama ninaenda kupeleka nini kwa laundry, nilikuwa navaa official. Because one of my friends told me, anytime you can get a phone call and you need to meet the president, will you start looking for shoes? So those days I used to wake up, I dress. If I have a show in the morning, I do my show in the morning. I go and have Nini at Java. I just come back to the country, so I didn't have many friends. So I was like chilling, reading the newspaper, doing some research on politics. So that day I got a phone call. I had come from a show. And that time I'd started doing shows, many shows. And there's one show that I'm told that the president really liked. I did a show on, there was a, unakumbuka ile scandal ya office of the deputy president, alafu kuna security guard aliuliwangwa ile ya kina Echesa, ati walikoningi sijui, allegedly they conned some people in the and using the deputy president in the country legally. Next day my sister is here, the newspaper, all the newspapers, it's like the journalists had forgotten their work. So when niliuliza, did they even have work permits, ni kama wakaenda, by the way, then on that particular morning.
All right, so Orwoba was actually, trying to tell us that she got her job because she was aggressive and rather supporting the government. The surprising story that came out of this, that she testified that there is a time they planned to give some stuff to the women and they never did it. And she said that possibly the president was very aware of that and he went laughing. She also indicated that they would set meetings at 10, but meet at 8. And when she goes, the meeting is over, because they just wanted her to feel uncomfortable. And that is when she decided to go to Kisii and solicit for votes. And then, though she never got it, she collected enough votes for the presidential position. So she tells us this is how she got to be nominated. Now, my worry is Orwoba going still to survive in politics? That one I don't know, but I hope yes. Because what I want to say is, when you look at people like Karen Nyamu, for reality, Karen Nyamu is pointless. Sometimes she stands up in parliament, she does not have what to say. She just goes on and points and says, when this, and she keeps quiet. And she has become a mockery of the parliament. If there is anybody who was supposed to be ousted out of that parliament as a nominated MP, it is Karen Nyamu. Because Karen Nyamu has violated a lot of things. And the only thing that Orwoba did once was to, I don't know whether she was really in periods or she messed. She just put tomatoes and was with, what do we call that? Picketing? When she walked out and said that women should not be humiliated. That is the first thing I remember about her in parliament. She has told us the story about how she came about to be actually negatively painted with Ruto. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So does it mean that then the entire other individuals who are in parliament rather close to the president were willing to do anything to pull her out? because she said that the moment she was actually getting the best moments with the father, I don't know, she referred to the presence of the father. That is when the communication office decided to report negatively, not knowing that they are also giving a bad impression of the president. I mean, like, I hope you're telling us the truth, if that is indeed the truth. Okay, let's listen to some part.
Tell you I'm not chilling. Me, I'm in this camp. I am dying for this camp. This person has seen my potential. This person has seen where I want to go. And you know that's the thing that Ruto has. Like, when you get to his space.
Do farmers go
Who
for
the hell
expensive
is
credit?
this?
It's because they have to wait longer to get paid. So first of all, how do you sow?
You are sold. You are sold. Unatoka hapo wewe sasa umebatizwa, unaimba tu sifa. Because he really has a way to, or let me say had. Now a lot of things have happened. That time he really had a way to win over the masses and individuals. That's why people like Hussein Mohammed left their jobs in media. Bana ukiingia wewe mkitoka wewe una preach to Ruto. So when I entered, me came out, I had found a new calling. You know, we are bringing Kenyans to the right side, the Hustler Nation movement. If you talk to my family, they used to think I am nimerogwa.
This was the photo.
No. This one is juicy. If you go on my LinkedIn and then you go to just photos, then you just scroll down. The first photo I ever met Ruto, oh my goodness, if you can even see I'm glowing. I'm like, I have in power, guys. Yani leo nimeamka tu nikiwa raia, next nimeamka ninasalimia nani. But in those days, you know, he had sold a message and he had embodied this vision of a new Kenya. That's why we all went and voted for him.
That's what I've been saying all along.
Yeah,
nobody's listening.
By the way, those days, mtu asikudanganya kati mlikuwa mnajua Ruto angekuwa venye yako sasa.
All right, so Gloria Oroba is actually justifying her closeness to the president, saying that she never knew that the president would be who he is now. Is that true? I looked at the comment section and people were like, even if they were given 3 million Kenyan shillings, they wouldn't go for him because they knew he is who he is. Then I was looking at the fact that he is the student of Moi and remembering what Moi did over his entire period. I was also looking at the cases of land grabbing and all that, and I was like, are you serious, Oroba? If you are a serious woman who is talking about standing with the reality, you wouldn't have been lied to and actually get away from your job and get to engage with the government and praise it. You know, sometimes there are mistakes we conduct and we can actually accept. I don't know why Oroba is still saying that no one knew that he would be who he is. There are a lot of people who knew that he would be who he is because politicians, most of them are chameleons. Today they are green, tomorrow they'll be brown, the other day they'll be black, they'll be all those colors. They can fit in different verses, right? So when she says that the moment you got into the office and talked to the president and all that, you are baptized, what exactly did she mean? Guys, if you are aware about what she meant, drop a comment in the comment section and let's get to know about it. James, welcome. Thank you so much. Like the video. I have 6 likes currently and I encourage more people to keep liking and coming to the video to watch and also share my videos. I really appreciate. All right. So I looked at her discussions. There was some other discussion here.
Toughen you. So from that moment, they declared war against me. This video of me being pinched, Talam is responsible for it. Yeah. You know, while they were thinking that they are damaging my image, what were they doing to the president's image?
What do you mean?
You know, those,
Talam is responsible.
the media, you're in media. Media, how it works, those who reach State House, right? They have an understanding between
I get you.
the head of communications in
And
State
what
House
goes out.
and what goes out, right? They have an understanding. They have a gentleman's agreement. I mean, it's not like you're going to put videos of the president digging up his nose and, I don't know, scratching his behind or something like that. They have an understanding. It's not that those things don't happen. It's just that they have an understanding. This is an office. This is the highest office of the state. There is a way that you portray it.
Yeah, we have to look
So
at
by
something
the
like
time a video like that one is being released, thinking that they are punishing me, but really, what are you doing to the head of state? Because that is a moment that was a father-daughter.
Father-daughter movement.
I mean, really, it's such a fake narrative. Supposing I have godfathers I have slept with in State House who apparently are the reason I was nominated, right? I mean, why am I being persecuted? Even your own narrative doesn't make sense to you. If I have people I'm sleeping with, I would not be going through this shit.
no, si sasa siku na
You know
hiyo
what I mean?
theory ya nini.
Like, in fact, your narrative is fake because it doesn't even answer your questions. If I had these godfathers that apparently are the ones who made me senator and, you know, even that president, why am I being persecuted for speaking up?
Does her theory make sense? Because I listened to it, I did not get it quite well. And of course, some people ran up with the narrative and made some other videos. Sometimes people are funny. You find somebody saying how she has testified, how she was in a relationship with the president. I'm like, did she do so? So when I listened, I didn't see that part, you know?
When you're using each other, there has to be some level of decorum in terms of even how you decide, okay, now our engagement ends here. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, we use each other. We use each other a lot in politics. and you should not say one to me.
Yeah, Gloria is actually testifying that in politics you can be used and dumped. Use and dump. Use and dump. But she really requests for decorum. She would wish that she was divorced in decorum from politics, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be an asset for someone to use you.
Yeah.
So if someone alikutumia, first you have to acknowledge you're an asset, right? Yeah. So I just think when I see the captions in the newspapers, use and dump, it's not bad to use someone. It's the idea of how you end the engagement. You know what I mean? And it has to be mutually beneficial. And so closer to the elections, we had to put together agents, right, for the election. And so we had to work with the few people who risked from 34As. Raymond and his people went around in Kisumu collecting them, and in some places it was they had to.
Yeah, so Gloria Robo was actually justifying that Itumbi is brainless, and the only thing he knows is to actually downplay others and show his face and prove that he can do the best. I don't know how true that narrative is, that he's one of the dark souls that is envious and does not want to see anyone shining, the mean soul in the government. And I was like, the other day, when Gloria was on Ikonini, the focus was more on Sifuna and this secretary, is it secretary or who? So when I was looking at the comments, some people were like, I enjoyed the show, Bwana. Others were like, politics that nobody talks about. And of course, she has got that skin to share this because it's not easy. Many people would be scared to share this, but she's gone ballistic sharing this. And I think Kenya has matured now because currently she would be in tough hands like Maverick. You know very well Maverick was also another one who was actually doing wrong stuff with the politicians, and finally she had to come out and reveal a lot that we did not know. Others said politics and power, you can be used and forgotten. Another one says, I love you, Gloria, being on the top of for ladies is not for the weak. Somebody says it's mutually beneficial. So we have seen Gloria actually arguing even that not Oscar Sudi, Farouk has been encouraging women to show their behinds for whatever reason. That is sexual assault, by the way. How can a man challenge you in public to show you are behind, and then he comments that is behind is the best for the bed? And the other day he also commented something about Sabina and said some comments that were quite demeaning. It's wrong, because actually what are we trying to train our young people? Is it even worth it to tell somebody such a statement in public? It doesn't sound okay, even though we saw Millie Ojambo justifying that she was suspended while in high school and therefore dancing is her talent. Yeah, we can dance, but there are times I really love dancing, but there are times when if you can dance and I just look at the situation, I won't dance at all. All right. Now let's proceed to a different area so that we don't really focus so much on Gloria, but I think you've got the points that she shared, and I would wish you give your comments. Now let's move on to today's hint from Nairobi. I have told you that Nairobi has turned into a very dangerous place, and it's as a result. It's a result of. Okay, and it's a result of the goons whom SAKAJA used at some point. You remember very well during the demonstrations, SAKAJA actually was supported by Sudi and another guy, that he should not be allowing Nairobi to be going into the demonstrations. You remember very well. You also remember the accusations came out from Babu and the rest of the people in Nairobi saying that SAKAJA. We saw very well that Wariungi kind of prophesized and said that when these goons turn against, when they lack what to do, they'll become a menace. A menace. Is it a menace? Yeah, a menace in Nairobi. Indeed, this has become a reality. Currently, a lot of people are complaining of attacks in the city. You've seen situations of dragging, whereby people greet you, then you became turning more, like you are less, and they are targeting whatever you are carrying. All right. So the reality is that if not controlled early, these goons are turning into a very big problem in the city. We are turning into a country. Which country is it? There is a country that is very risky around Africa, that at any point you can be, robbed. You can have pickpocketing happening as you walk on the street and all that. Let's just take on some video here. Just want us to check on something here. Let's check on a video here. I had opened it already. Here it is.
When I first came across these
Here. All right.
SAKAJA were warned. Unleash armed goons to break peaceful protest, and one day they will turn on the very city they were sent to defend.
Because they want to please the master, they will continuously pay them. And as they pay them, there is a day they will not be able to pay them. These people will turn against the citizens of the country.
Now, that prophecy has arrived. 3 months later, a chilling video now making rounds captures it all. A gang of armed youths storming Ngong Road in broad daylight, robbing pedestrians at gunpoint after protest by matatu operators against police harassment.
Wameanza sasa.
Nairobians watched in horror as the so-called order enforcers morphed into predators. And Ngong Road is just the beginning. A few meters away, the heart of Kenya's economy, the central business district, has become a hunting ground.
Did you know your profitability as a surveyor is directly tied to the instruments you choose? Too many surveyors are
Traders along Kenyatta Avenue.
So can you imagine how dangerous Nairobi city will turn into? And it's the hub of the nation. When you come from Mombasa, you must go through Nairobi. You come from where else? Even Garissa, you have to go through Nairobi if you're coming to the western side or Nakuru or Gilgil or Kisumu or, you know, also a lot of products. For example, let's say cement, mabati and all that, they come from all the way Mulolongo, and they are taken to the countryside. So if the hub of the country becomes a risky place and these goons are not controlled, what will happen? Now, the youth were being killed during the demonstrations while these people are being spared, and they have been slowly and surely been, you know, experimenting and becoming stronger day after day. So let's listen. There is a girl that was swearing, or rather testifying, that being in the CBD beyond 6, it's very risky because there are guys who have knives and they are ready to stab and attack and get things from you. We have also heard about guns, and they are shooting at any point, especially yesterday and today. I think there were some demonstrations in Nairobi after the matatus felt like they were being harassed by the police. So all this, if it proceeds, then it's a very dangerous aspect, because Nairobi city is a representation of what Kenya is, and even the citizens, or rather the guests who come by, they know Nairobi is the face of Kenya. So let's hope that things will be handled, or else it will be a dangerous thing. Let's listen to this lady before we proceed.
Stuff for back to school. So, nikatoka hii side ya Moi Avenue, nikajiambia, because I didn't want to cook, let me pass by KFC, the one I think along Kimathi Street, and get something before I get an Uber to my house, right? So, mimi nikakuja na the corner, the one that has Pizza Inn, Galitos, the one near Denbury, that one. Nikapita to your corner, and there was like some young people, some young men wamesimama hapo. Nikakata hiyo kona, and because I wanted to take Kimathi Street, na sijui ni ujinga gani, because it was past 7, it was past 8. It was past 7. It was 7 something. I think around 7:23. Na hiyo time akukuwa na watu, kumbe Kimathi Street siku hizi haina lights. And I'm just walking, hey my God. Kidogo, just before Sarova Stanley, kitu ikaniambia tu, toka hii side ya Super Cosmetics, cross to the other side, and then utembe na huko, cause I could see at least the other side had better security, because there were like watchmen around some buildings. So mimi nika cross haraka. I had not looked behind me, nilikuwa nafuatwa na kuna watu wanafuatana tao. So I was so shaken. Nikasimamako, yo loading bay, yo ya I think iko na pharmaceuticals or something. Nikaita Uber. Nimeita Uber, nikamwambia mtu Uber, by the way, nilikuwa nafuatwa and I need to pick dinner, ningoje hapa kidogo nakuja. Then the Uber dude tells me that it has been happening for quite some time, that apparently adi sijui security guard wapo Pizza Inn, hapo Chicken Inn, Galitos, alidungwa kisu akitry ku protect customer kingoja Uber. Oh my God. Anyway,
Oh my God.
I am safe. I am okay. Mimi niliona na foto, nikakimbia karibu nipiwe na gari katikati ya town. Mungu wangu mngeniokota asubuhi. I'm not going to town anymore. That is my first and last time going.
Lakini sasa kuna rungu ni ya jirani. Ona. Msichana ona. Wanyang'anya simu. Naona hapo wanyang'anya simu imeenda. Kwa mfuko. Angalia amechukua simu.
Reports at the time linked them to shadowy pro-government networks, specifically in Nairobi CBD. Now, these youths were nicknamed hired goons, a force designed to intimidate, scatter, and silence.
Stopped paying. We unleashed
Your investors on the
investors.
Yeah, so automatically, Warungi has been part of the Mungeki force and knows how these things happen. So he's actually talking about how they were used by government those times, and then when they were not maintained anymore, they decided to now go on as their own forces. So the use of this illegal militia is a very wrong decision to do. In Kenya, we had the Mungiki, we had Enkorongongo or something like that, and many others, even the Matokwe. Now, currently, there is a goon group that is coming, and it's after a generation that we forgot all about it. In fact, Nairobi City has become one of the most safe place. However, if this is coming back, we are in for it. And unfortunately, SAKAJA was saved from the balls of impeachment. Now, Professor Gola actually shared why Raila and Ruto had to rush to save SAKAJA from impeachment, because one thing, Nairobi is a great definer of who becomes the president. When you look at the former leaders, they got their support through Nairobi CBD. And therefore, this city is for no one, yet it has an influence on who becomes who. So Raila has decided not to support, he has decided not to support Babu, but to go for SAKAJA, because he knows SAKAJA is one person, even though he has been blamed of, stylish life, drinking, and going on the drinking spree and forgetting about focus in the county, to an extent that Nairobi has been a dirty CBD. Still, the Raila and Ruto believe that they can get a lot of support through him. All right? And remember, Babu is coming up with a new party. So they decided to rush and help him so that the impeachment will not bring the government down. How that will help? Let's just listen a bit to Professor Gola before we come back to the issue of e-procurement as the last part of our story today.
So what I'm trying to say is that a lot was at stake if SAKAJA was even to go through this word of impeachment. And they also talked about the fact that it will take a lot of effort to save SAKAJA at the Senate. So why do you like, for example, Fred, when the policeman arrests you on the road and tells you you have made a mistake, and instead of accepting to go to the to the police station, where now the process, another level, you've been booked with OB, you might actually sort out this one on the road, like Jesus says, talk to your enemy before actually reach court. So maybe this was the way to try to divert that attention and ensuring that this is nipped in the bud. And I still repeat that the structure of Nairobi County, look, the first governor was Kidero. He never saw second term. Then Sonko came in. What happened to Sonko? He didn't even finish the second term. Now we're having SAKAJA struggling actually to finish this term. In fact, SAKAJA can be impeached more easily than any other person, because the people controlling this place, what is the implication? The implication of these governors who cannot perform is that now they have to spend the money that should go to development. That's why Nairobi is not working. Okay. I have just seen an article here in Standard, something like 1 year ago, where they said that the sewage system was supposed to work. SAKAJA campaign on let Nairobi work. And you will live in Nairobi. How is it working? The sewer system, isn't it? The amount of money in Nairobi, the highest allocation among all counties. And guys are not seeing the impact of this right on the ground. And therefore, Nairobians are actually very bitter with SAKAJA.
I'm more concerned right now about the kind of influence that the president, and even confidence that the president and Raila Odinga have in the houses of parliament, the national houses, that's the National Assembly and the Senate, intervening at the assembly level. What effect would it have on devolution?
Fred, your question is a very fundamental question, and the only way to see it without, by detaching our emotions, is to imagine another state with the same system. Imagine President Trump meeting with the.
All right, so Professor Gola had to bring about the incident of America and show how the efforts to impeach would have let down the government and why they had to rescue him. All right, and it might be actually true that there are a lot of beneficiaries from this money that is not serving the interests of Nairobi, and looking at the goons and all that. All right, now let's get to the final story of the e-procurement system. and the fact that the president has really decided to launch it, and many of the governors are not interested, and so many other people. Yet, this might be a good thing, at the same time a negative thing, because if payment is being done from the one end, and also they can block organizations, that might be negative. But on the other end, there will be transparency in logistics and the process of procurement. So let's listen to this aspect right here. For example, what does Duale say here?
He cannot threaten us that he's going to withhold money because you've told him the system that he has procured. I don't know where from, how much, and whether it was still procured through process. It's not working. If it's not working, it's not working. And no one can shove it down our throats.
Now, of course, a lot of leaders and governors do not want that e-procurement because they know there are a lot of tenders that they are no longer going to actually eat from, possibly. I use the word eat in Kenyan context. And when we look at the arguments here, Mbadi comes out and says that there should be no resistance. Let's listen to this.
So you will manipulate the documents. You will plug those papers. That is what we are trying to cure with e-procurement. And this e-procurement, you people must implement it. This resistance I'm seeing, you will just have to stop it. Oh, it is not working.
Mbadi decided to support the president.
I am not going to buy that narrative. I know many people are frustrating this system. We are not going to allow it. You better...
Yeah, so we reached the end of our discussion, though we have a lot of stories to cover. But for now, I think we can end at that before we can come back tomorrow for more stories, guys. Let me make the thumbnail for my videos. I really appreciate your presence today, and have a good night or a good day for any that are starting their day. Bye-bye.